called for 3 days of rage in reaction to what President Trump had said. Do you get a sense, Ian, and maybe you can't because you're there and so consumed, but is it just Ramallah, or is it stretching, that the 3 days of rage, is it stretching across the region?
What we know in the West Bank is that Bethlehem has also had protests, it's had clashes, and this is a Thursday. Fridays are usually the main days of protest here, and so if we're seeing this many people come out on a Thursday, you could expect to see something similar on Friday. Now, today, Palestinians did call for a strike. Businesses are closed, schools are closed, and you're seeing a lot of people go out in the street and voice their anger. We're going to move back some more now.
Yeah, hey, Ian.
All right.
Listen, get to safety, bud. We get the sense of what's happening on the ground. You let us know if the situation changes, but stay safe, all right? We hear them firing the tear gas. Get out of there.
Tear gas is coming in.
Get out of there.
All right. Yep, we're out.
The leader of the Palestinian militant group Hamas has called for a new intifada or popular uprising following President Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The U.S. decision has been widely criticized around the world and by some of America's closest allies, including Britain, France and Saudi Arabia. The United Nations Security Council will hold an emergency meeting tomorrow to debate the move. These are the latest pictures we have from Bethlehem, where tear gas and water cannon have been used to disperse protesters there. Well, the leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, declared the American decision an aggression against the Palestinian people.
Today, we call for and work for a new uprising against the Zionist occupation. Today, we won't have half solutions anymore. Today, there is no space or place for half measures. Let us unshackle our Palestinian people and let them express their rage and commitment to their historic right in Jerusalem and the whole of Palestine.
President Trump, as the author of the change of policy, knew precisely where this could lead in the short to medium term, because after all, just as he was speaking last night, the State Department, the United States State Department, was issuing a warning to its own diplomats to avoid all but essential travel in the region. So the United States knew when it let this particular genie out of the bottle that there were real risks involved. But President Trump, of course, insists that it's in the long-term interests of a two-state solution, although most of his allies don't see it that way.
Bethlehem flags with President Trump's image are burning as the U.S. consulate in Jerusalem issued a security warning on Twitter for U.S. citizens, directing them to avoid the Old City and the West Bank. The move clearly angering Palestinians who want Jerusalem as their capital as well. President Mahmoud Abbas warning in this statement, quote, "Such a move will have detrimental consequences on the peace process and the prospects for the internationally endorsed two-state solution." And allies in the region reacting with strong warnings that this may have serious consequences. Turkish President Erdogan saying the move is a red line. U.S. Marine fast teams are already deploying all over the Middle East. This as questions over the impact of such a move upending decades of U.S. diplomacy will await Vice President Pence's arrival in Jerusalem.
World leaders from France to Morocco to the EU weighed in as well, urging President Trump to postpone moving the embassy. Jordan's King Abdullah said the move would stoke tensions among Muslims and Christians alike. And Saudi Arabia, who's been supportive of Trump, warned of gravely negative consequences, including provoking the global Muslim community, which some see as a veiled warning about the potential eruption of another intifada.